Hello, this is Doug with Day Trader Insights, where we do bite-sized videos to help traders up their game. Basically, just wanted to do a quick recap of a couple of the stocks that I was looking at this morning. One of them was Bold. Basically, that's ticker BOLD. Basically, they had a reverse merger, and there's a $200 million biotech financing on that one. Uh, what was it? Boundless Bio is merging into private base editing company Serafa Bio, which will become the public company and trade as AATD after closing. The deal includes a very large $230 million private placement. So basically, it's a strong speculative biotech reverse merger headline with serious institutional financing. Um, Bold shareholders ended up retaining only about 3.7% of the combined company, making this more of a merger arbitrage type of deal than a clean, low float momentum squeeze or anything like that. I didn't like this one nearly as much. It had a small amount of short interest. It did have 15.3 million shares, which isn't bad. The other stock was HSCS. And anyways, with HSCS, that was like a crypto Zcash mining reverse merger. 1.84 million shares float. Didn't find much as far as short interest on that, but the catalyst was Heart Sciences merging with Fortitude Mining Holdings, a digital currency group owned, vertically integrated Zcash mining company. The combined company is expected to trade as Fortitude. Um, a legitimate low float crypto reverse merger catalyst with a hot Zcash narrative. Um, I was watching both Bold and or HSCS at open this morning, and I like both of them. I I don't know if you can see this on. Yeah, you can see it on the screen, but I also like to mark support and resistance. Now, you might look at this and think that I did this based off from what was going on in the pre-market. I did not. I didn't even look at the pre-market, to be honest with you. I actually went back and looked at 1 year, 1 week, and I marked resistance one right here based off from this rounding top there. And then I had a second one here that I marked with this closing up bar here. I didn't mark it up on this because of the fact that I just feel more comfortable going with these. With support, I went down here, found this right in here. I really use that as support in the end, and I felt like that was a good place to go with. It touches here, touched here, there. It's in several locations, basically. So, anyways, when you go back and you look at this, and I do this quite frequently, I sometimes look at the 1 day for a year as well, but I really feel comfortable doing it with the weekly one. I just seem to have a lot of good luck with this. Anyways, going back to the minute one, if we go back here and look how this boom kind of almost got to it, dropped, went a little bit below, which is fine. So, quite honestly, if we went back and we marked this down here, we'd probably see where maybe even the price on this 1 minute back here. Actually, yeah, it came pretty close to that one there. So that would have been like a support two mark for me and all. But look at this. Goes up again up to resistance one or resistance one, then two, taps it, drops immediately back down, flounders around here for a little while. And I was watching this right at open. And to be honest with you, when when I jumped in this, I was kind of watching this little range right here, and I got rambunctious and I jumped in right here. It was definitely too early. I should have been more patient, waited for it to come down to support one, and just see if it rebounded from that, and then attempt to buy afterwards. Quite honestly, the better place to buy would have been as it was recovering right up in here. But in the end, I got in early. When I saw this pull down, I was like, oh, shoot, I'm going to get burned out of this one. Basically, my stop would have been right at or just below this support level here. So, anyways, when I saw it pull back up and then go green here, I was like, oh, wait a minute. We have some active traders in there buying and all. And then it dropped again, pulled back up again. At that point, I was confident that it was, well, I can't say 100% confident, but I had a really good idea that, or a good feeling that this might very well move up. Now, obviously, if it went down here below support one, I probably would have dropped out. If I'd been holding, several hundred or 7,000 or several thousand shares or what have you, I would have sold half of it here and probably sold the remainder down here, which would have been quite the loss, to be honest with you. But in this case, with these types of stocks, they move up so fast and down so fast. You got to be very careful with them. So in this case, when I saw it going right here, I was like, "Oh man, here it goes." And when it went up here and then dropped down, I felt like, "Oh man, it may be just going right back down." So I went ahead and jumped out on that. And even getting out at that point at 314, still not a bad deal. It's roughly 14 to 16% from where I bought it at. Okay, so not bad, but look what it did. It actually come up to that resistance one area, drop back down, right? And anyways, it hit the 9 EMA, jumped right back up, and then ended up ultimately going just above my resistance 2 mark, dropping back down, finding a little bit of support here, going back up, and then it just drops back down. Now, I didn't really look at the rest of the day after that. I just kind of stopped and went about my business. I'm actually kind of like in a trader rehab type thing where I'm going and only trading one share, rebuilding my discipline and all this. And this was like day two. Yesterday, I did a small trade where I was up 4 or 5%. I forget exactly what. It was only one share, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Maybe in the next week, or maybe sometime next week after I feel a little bit more confident about everything, I'll start doing 10 shares, and then I'll bump it up to 100 and so on and so forth. But quite honestly, I just want to I basically step back and I'm just dipping my toes in very, very slowly. I know this seems awfully, maybe even crazy to you that I'm only trading one share. But if you can't do it with one, you can't do it with 100. Can't do it with 100, you can't do it with 1,000, and so on and so forth, and it works in reverse on that as well. Anyways, guys, that was my trade for the day. Just one in, out, I think within like 10 minutes. It was a successful trade overall. I feel like I could have done better on the entry and all. I got a little bit too rambunctious, but worked out up roughly 14% on that one trade. And it was really nice. Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or what have you, I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.